Which one of those deaths was the most gruesome? If you were to ask me which death I were to choose for myself, I'd likely pick this one. It seems to be the most instantaneous, considering the damage to the brain.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the neck. See?
As for the most gruesome and painful death, I'd have to give it to Captain Carter. Getting sliced in half is not only horrific, it's slow going. Obviously, there's a Reddit thread on the topic, and I found that it depends on the location of the cut. Is it weird that I know exactly what video he's talking about? Looking at where Captain Carter was cut, she would have had about 20 seconds of excruciating pain and screaming before succumbing to blood loss. And yet... compared to... I swear there's a point to this. Now, I'm a very slow analyzer. Probably because,
I'm kind of retarded.
But eventually I think I've realized a trend, which probably every person on the planet who has consumed any media had already realized. Now tell me, what do you think the age rating of all these movies are? If you guessed PG-13, you'd be right. The reason I picked these examples specifically is because every one of those movies have an equally, if not more, gruesome death that is applied to a woman. That got me thinking, is there a rule that all PG-13 movies should follow? Violence and gruesome deaths and pain are all allowed in these movies, as long as they are not overly graphic, but we do have graphic examples littering these movies. And yet, it seems like these gruesome on-screen deaths are all afforded to men, almost every time. Clearly there's a pattern here. The pattern that we are allowed to show 13-year-olds death, body horror, melting, dismemberment, and any number of other terrible things being done to anyone as long as it is done to men. Now that's not to say that women have never had any on-screen gruesome deaths befall them in PG-13 movies. From the examples I have used thus far, I could find one. And well, that's pretty goddamn brutal. But then you look at the director and realize it's Sam Raimi. I mean, he's a horror movie director, among other things. Horror movies are well known to often put one woman in dangerous situations while willy-nilly killing anybody else in the way to raise tension. Now, a caveat. I'm well aware that I could be proven wrong on several accounts. What I'm talking about is not in any way a consistent rule. I'm talking about a trend. A trend that I find to be prejudiced. Now my goal in this video is not to get more women to die in movies, that's dumb. But it is to give people a reason to think about who is dying most graphically in what way in PG movies. For that I have come up with a rule set that you could use to apply my idea for PG movies specifically. Both men and women are allowed to receive the most gruesome deaths or torture imaginable. Both men and women are allowed to have implied gruesome deaths or torture off screen. Only men are allowed to be clearly shown with physical damage resulting from death or torture on screen. Women shown after the death or the physical torture will have their on-screen physical integrity intact. Integrity being a key word here. Now, that is not to say that there aren't exceptions to the rule, but exceptions do not negate the rule in this case, because it's establishing a trend. Also, if I were to meet Shyla Atim in real life, I would assume they-them before she-her, which could lead to another rule. The more stereotypically feminine a woman looks, the less likely she is to have her physical integrity compromised. Now, for the part that no one likes, let's link it to the real world.
People, you got 1-800 numbers, you got ribbons, there's groups. People give a shit. Anything happens to a guy, it's just considered funny. Some woman cut her husband's dick off, threw it in the garbage disposal, and turned it on. People thought it was hilarious. They were, hey, Stumpy. Nobody cares. Do you think if a guy removed a woman's titty and threw it in the dryer, anybody would be joking about it the next day?
I'm going to make an unfounded claim. I believe that objective damage that is identically applied to two separate people of separate sexes will be internalized differently by the overall population, compared to some racial studies that shows that people of different races feel generally heightened empathy to the people of their race compared to people of other races. People generally will feel less empathy towards men than women, whether they are men or women. It should be stated that neither men nor women wish harm to any other man or woman. Well, considering where I'm from, I should amend the statement. No sane person wishes for any harm to befall any innocent person. There goes about 99% of my friends and family. Now, with all that being said, we are still less likely to care about a man's suffering as much as a woman's suffering.
I've never taken sugar in my coffee ever before. Ever before. I have never, ever taken sugar in my coffee. That girl again, huh?
I wasn't cheating at you.
I saw that picture too.
I wasn't cheating at you. I wasn't cheating on you.
Serious? Are you serious right now? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Come on, bro.
You don't do that shit to me.
Why are you hitting me for?
Bruh.
Listen, don't talk to God. Listen! Why you talking? Listen. Listen, thank you for saying something. We're filming. We're filming.
But now we're about to meet a woman whose reaction is instant, visceral. Watch closely.
No, get up. No.
Why don't you calm down?
What went through her mind?
Good for her. You go, girl.
And why? Now, I don't have a very well-founded answer to that, but I do have a theory. Men are expendable, women are not, in both our media and our day-to-day life. And we all know it. If the overall goal of our genes is to procreate, reproduce, and multiply, well, it's quite obvious why one is valued over the other. Also, the whole upper body strength thing. That is why I believe the divergence between women and men's suffering on the big screen is as such. It is not something that we have chosen, as so much as it is baked in. Can we get over that hurdle in the same way we got over racism? Generally speaking, probably not. Regardless, this video was not intended to change minds or to affect change. Rather, I just want you to take my rule set and apply it yourself when watching the next PG movies, games, or shows you enjoy, and see if you can find any discrepancies in the visualization of the graphic in the media we showcase.